Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Anklet beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup Lockdown, where we are covering Season 2, Episode 23. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group and on Instagram at Love After Lockup Lockdown. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we are covering Season 2, Episode 23, Broken Bonds. This is an episode of Life After Lockup, and it is the finale. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Fantastic.
So, we want to say a little bit about our stickers, so you don't have to buy them. We're going to give you them for free. I think there was some confusion as to how to get the stickers. So, all you have to do is go to either Spotify or Apple and rate or review. On Spotify, you can only give stars. And on Apple, you can do stars plus a review where you type out. So you have to just scroll on Apple a little bit past the episodes, and then you'll find where you can submit your review. It'll say write a review, blah, blah, blah. Then screenshot that. And then you can either email us at lalulockeddown@gmail.com, or you can inbox me on Facebook directly. You can find me in our Facebook group, or it's Lisa Ottaviano Ballas. I don't know if you're going to know how to spell that. But you on Spotify, you can only do stars, like I said. So you can do the stars, take the screenshot, and then send us that. And on Apple, once you submit it, it goes into oblivion and it won't show up for a couple days. So screenshot your review before you submit it. And then send us that and then submit your review. Sorry. We need your address though, because people are rating and then telling us or showing us, but not giving us addresses. We're not stalkers. We're not murderers. We won't kill you, but we need to be able to send you your stickers via an address.
We can't just put your name on an envelope and toss it in the mailbox.
Yeah.
Well, this week we are starting with Megan, Michael, and Sarah. And Michael asks Sarah for a divorce while he's holding their new baby Rain and while they're both in front of Aviana.
Okay, but all right, I get it, but that's supposed to be what she was there for, to tell him about a divorce. So I understand that she's upset, but she literally went there to tell him about the divorce and that she actually went to a lawyer and filed, but she never says it. She never speaks it. Nothing is ever said from Sarah's mouth about the divorce.
Well, I think you were right when you were talking about it last week. It's a matter of she thought she was going to scare him into compliance by threatening a divorce. And then she finds out, oh, he actually does want the divorce and he brought it up, which is a big change from how she thought things were going to go.
Yeah. But I still believe, like, I mean, I would have been like, oh, yeah, buddy? Well, guess what?
Right.
I would have whipped out those papers and been like, I beat you to it. But she didn't. So my theory was correct then.
Did you see her face when he asked her out to dinner? She was, she's all giddy and like she was excited thinking they were going to rekindle.
Yeah, rekindle what?
It doesn't sound like they ever had a good marriage. And as we get further through this episode, he says that,
Yeah.
So she tells him that she's shocked and that she has tried everything she could to make it work. That's true. I mean, I think those are both true. I think she is very surprised that that was his plan. And what else could she do other than what she has already done?
Yeah. I mean, So he does say to her that he loves Megan. By the way, Sarah, her ebonics were in full effect in this conversation, this argument. And but then he's like, Megan has nothing to do with it. Uh, yes, she does, but it's also just Michael being Michael, like, because it's not only been Megan that's caused this. It's been Michael's long history of destroying his feelings for Sarah by being with multiple women, not just Megan.
It is about Megan, but it doesn't have to be Megan. It could be anyone. It's just who was his flavor of the month? Who was he currently infatuated or interested in,
Hmm.
and it just happens to be Megan right now.
Exactly.
Michael tells Sarah that he was never engaged to Megan, but that he does love her. That's a lie. We know that's a lie.
Yeah.
Why be honest about half of the things, but not all of them?
He's because like we said, he believes his lies. He believes what he says. He talks in circles. He just is, it's like one lie after a lie after a lie after a lie. It's just, I don't know. I like Michael's like literally mentally ill. Not that we're saying anything bad about being mentally ill, because I'm mentally ill, but he is. He's got some sort of problem. He has a problem.
I don't know if it's mental illness, though, as I mean, it really just portrays his arrogance and immaturity.
Well, I don't know. I feel he's like a sociopath or something. I mean, who are we to diagnose? But he's got like every marker on that.
Sarah says to him, "How dare you leave me to struggle with two babies?" And I mean, that's a good point, but how did you not expect that?
He already left her with one baby, and then he is doing it again, and now it's two babies. I mean, he's never actually been a father this entire time, and he
Right.
won't be still.
Well, they live so far apart. It's not like he can do anything to help her.
I mean, let's not. This is a grown woman who's making these choices as well. So, I mean, she does have some responsibility for what's going on as well. I mean, she made these choices also. She could have walked away from him, but instead she married him and had another child with him. So, I mean, these were her choices. I mean, yeah, Michael's a piece of crap, but she knew this. She already knew this, and she continued on.
I wonder if she knew how bad it was ahead of time because he married her while he was in prison. And then he got out, and it was before she found out about Megan or anything he was doing that she got pregnant with Rain. So she
Mhm.
may have still been under the impression, I mean, from all accounts, she was still under the impression that their marriage was okay.
Well, he had cheated on her many times in the past. Let's not forget that. And then
That's a
she
good
still did
point.
marry him. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. Michael says that Sarah won't let him take Aviana alone. And she tells him, "Yeah, you have to work towards that. Like, you have to earn that. That's not just something we hand you a child and go take care of this child. You don't know what you're doing."
Yeah, it seemed like she was okay though, because he did take Aviana alone once before he went back to prison after he got out of prison. And she was okay with it then, but now I can understand why she's giving him a harder time. And he foresaw this, that if he went forward with breaking up with her or divorcing or whatever, that she was going to, let's say, hold the children from him. And she's really not. She's just giving him a
Mm-mm.
little bit of a harder time. Um,
Giving
you
him
know,
access to the children alone is not something that I think he's ready for. And that's a newborn baby. He's definitely not ready to care for a newborn baby. He's never done that. And I think Sarah is right to hold back the kids, but I don't think that she's keeping them from him in any way. I think that she would still make arrangements for him to see the girls anytime he would want.
yeah, I mean, if I were her, I'd be okay if I knew that like mom and Day Day were around and then
Right,
also Michael, because at least he had help, you know. But
right,
yeah, I mean, he's never taken care of an infant before, let alone an infant plus a small child. I mean, it that can get overwhelming. So for anyone,
right. He says he wants to show his daughters the type of man they need in their lives. I hope that they don't seek anybody like him.
I laughed at that one. This is just, I was like, come on, man. What are you? You want to show them how to have a felon who's a serial cheater in their lives? What kind of an example does he feel like he's setting for his two daughters?
Right,
I mean, yeah, here's what he's showing them. What not to choose in a man and how to not choose a man anything like their dad. Anything but. He said he wasn't happy to see Sarah when he got out of prison. He just wanted to see his children. And I was
hmm,
like, oh God, you wouldn't have children if it weren't for Sarah.
right. And he makes the excuse, and he said this before, that the only reason he proposed and the only reason he married her is so she would let him see Aviana. But again, we have never seen her keep either of the kids from him. She drove from New York to Michigan so that he could see his daughter because he was on tether. That's not keeping somebody from the kids from him at all.
It's so weird. I really don't like I don't believe that as as an excuse as to why he went through with the wedding. It's so or the marriage. So weird. So weird because we never once saw her, and you know the show would show this, where she's like, if you don't marry me, this and that. You know, like we never
Right.
saw that. And the show would take full advantage of Sarah going, oh, well, if you don't marry me, I'm gonna keep the kids away from you. But that never happened. And you know they would have shown that.
Of course, they would have brought it up. It's just something men like this, they latch on to a lie and then they use it over and over and over again as though saying it somehow speaks it into existence.
Yep. You got it. So, the one thing he does say that makes perfect sense, and so once in a while, Michael comes out with stuff that makes sense, is that I'm sorry, Sarah was in love with another person, which is the old Michael, not the
Mhm.
Michael that he is today. So she's remembering and trying to hold on to the Michael she first started dating before all of this, back when it was new love, puppy love, whatever, you know, everything was great. And now he's this Michael who's been hardened by prison, who's a serial cheater, who treats her like crap. But in her mind, she's still remembering the Michael she fell in love with.
Right. I mean, you that is assuming that he was ever a decent human being.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, in the beginning, everything seems great. So who knows?
And he tells her that he loves her, but he isn't in love with her, and she apologizes to him. Why are you apologizing for that?
He doesn't love her at all. At
No, I don't
all.
think he care I don't think he cares about her.
No. He just wants to discard her, so
And she apologizes to Aviana for all of this. I mean, they were arguing, and she brings Aviana back in and talks to her and apologizes to her, which I think is good because we have seen them argue in front of her before. Next up, Brittany and Marcelino, and they are discussing the custody case.
yeah. So, Brittany does say it's hard to be positive when Marcelino is so negative, and that's just seems to be Marcelino's whole nature. Very angry and negative man, and even when Marcelino smiles, he doesn't look happy.
He is like so high strung, you know, from what we have seen of him. He's not a relaxed dude.
No. So, Brittany reminds us that at any point in time, Tito can just take Gio. because she has zero custody rights to him. She just has him out of the kindness of Tito's heart or whatever, for whatever reason. But she's not wrong to want something in on hard copy and writing. And so that's what they're basically going to do.
Right. And Brittany says that she never wanted this to happen. And Marcelino's like, well, I never wanted this to happen. And I went in with full intentions to have a conversation. That's not what we saw for sure.
Yeah, Brittany would never have okayed the meeting between Marcelino and Tito because she knew that that was going to be terrible. But
She
I
literally
mean, in
told
the
him not to go.
yeah, yeah, but you know, in the end, I mean, sometimes good things come out of bad things because now they're going to be going to court. And you know, the lawyers we show them showing up to court and the lawyers with them, and he is good and smart to remind Marcelino, no acting out, no reactions in court, don't say anything, because you know Marcelino would be fired up and say something real quick.
He's still not taking responsibility, though. He said Tito is unreasonable and he had to be protective. That's not taking responsibility, going, I almost jeopardized your custody of your son.
Yeah.
Next up, Scott and Lizzie. Lizzie's yelling at Scott in the yard, and he says, are you going to forgive me or not? And she says no. She doesn't want to be with him.
Yeah, I mean, she's being really, really harsh, and he's super angry. And I mean, understandably, and he's just so frustrated. And at this point, I'm just like, I'm not even sure if he even really, truly does want her there anymore, or if at this point he's just like, I've gone this far, I've spent all this money on this woman, I'm still going to try to make this happen, or if he really does still love her. I can't decide because I see a different Scott. I see a very frustrated Scott. But then again, now we do know he is on drugs. So
To some extent, right.
yeah, he's acting a little differently than we've seen.
And he tells her that he's always been there for her and he feels betrayed. And I think his anger is a sign that he finally does feel betrayed. Like, this is a different level. He came clean with her and told her what he didn't even tell Charlene. And she turns her back on him after he's been there for how many years for her, buying her drugs, supporting her when she was going through withdrawal. And I mean, he supported her through everything.
Yeah. Yep. And this just proves that she literally uses Scott. She's used him the entire time and she doesn't give a crap about him. We don't really know what her point was this time around. So anyway, so Scott, I mean, he's been there through everything for her, and she's just like, nope, I'm walking away. And it just like proves that everyone was right all along, that she just doesn't give a crap about him. And we don't know her true motive as to why she came back, but it definitely wasn't because she loves Scott. And this proves
No.
it.
No. He blocks her from getting in her car and she starts screaming at him. And the thing I thought was interesting about this is she's standing outside fighting with him and screaming, but also telling him that she's not going back to prison for anything. Well, don't get in a domestic altercation in his front yard. You know, there are better options here.
Yeah. We see Scott basically throw a bunch of money at her, and he says, there, maybe you'll be with me now. And that is like him. I mean, that was a slap in the face to her, big time, but it's the truth. It's the truth, because
Right.
that's all that she was ever in this for, is money. And it's just, I don't know, he's losing his mind in this. And then he actually, I don't know where this bat came from, but he pulls out a baseball bat and he starts beating a car. And I don't know if that was his car, I don't know whose car that was, but he's beating a car with a baseball bat.
I missed that part.
Yeah, she takes off and he beats a car.
Yeah, she says they're breaking up and she's going back to Wisconsin. I don't know why she's breaking up with him again. They weren't together. Like, you already broke up with him. You don't break up with somebody, then show up at their house to re-break up with them.
Yeah. The entire time she's been saying that they're not together, and then now she's breaking breaking up with him. I know she's crazy.
Yeah, he tells her she never appreciated him, and he is 100% right. She never appreciated anything that he did for her, or sure didn't show it. Next up, we check in briefly with Brittany and Marcelino and find out that they got 60% custody. Lawyer says consider it a win.
Yep. That definitely is. I mean, she's like, "Oh, I got 50-50 custody." And the lawyer's like, "No, nope, sorry. You got 60-40." She got 10% more.
I'm sure that means something in the custody world. I don't know what, but back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah is packing to go home. She says the man she fell in love with doesn't exist anymore. And I hope at this point that she means that she really understands that.
Yeah. I don't know what goes on with these two after this season, but I feel like there's an addiction problem here as far as her being addicted to Michael and not knowing how to let go. And I feel bad, and I get it. I understand, but I don't know. And Sarah has a friend who's literally telling her, which is Emmy, like this guy, you need to get rid of him. You need to get rid of him. And then the lawyer, you need to get, and she's still not listening. And I don't know what Michael provides to her life that is keeping her with him. And I don't know what it is. And it just has to be the fact that she thinks he's going to somehow change.
Well, they have a family together, and when you're young, especially when you're in love with somebody who doesn't reciprocate those feelings, you have these two small children. Now she's a single mom of two kids. She's just hoping that her family will come back together. This idea that she had when she did all of these things. He knew from
Yeah.
the get that he was not interested in a long-term relationship with her. He knew when he married her that, and yet he did it anyway. She was not aware of those things.
Hmm.
So he's been playing a different game all of these years. She says to him, let's see how much you lose out on when I stop trying. 100%, Sarah. Let's see what he does to stand up and be the father that he should be when you aren't there catering to him.
Yeah, she says she's done everything she had to do as a mom since 20 years old. I didn't realize that she's been a mom since 20. I don't think I paid attention to how old she is. So it's it's hard when you're this young, like you said. And she's done a great job being that young, and she's without the help of a dad, like literally at all, at all, financially and
Yeah.
emotionally, nothing.
She says she knows that Michael will find his way eventually, and I beg to differ. I do not think that's the case. I don't think he's ever going to find his way out of this because he keeps causing the problems. He causes his own problems by using people.
Yeah. So he's back on the fact that he believes that the divorce is the answer, and it 100% is. 100%. And still she's not saying anything about the fact that she's already filed for the divorce.
Well, she hasn't filed so much. I mean, they still have to serve him. And then, well, I guess
Yeah.
they would have filed the paperwork, but never proceeded with it if he wasn't served with it. They didn't go into it.
Hmm.
Maybe next season we'll find out more. So Megan FaceTimes him and he tells her that he asked Sarah for a divorce and she asks him if it's really going to happen. Fair question.
Yeah, because now, oh, and I'm actually a little bit impressed with Megan at this point going, hey, you've said these things before, and I don't really freaking believe you, is basically what she's saying in a nutshell. Is yeah,
Hmm.
you told me that you told her that you want a divorce. And basically, that doesn't mean that he's actually going to go through with it because he's said these things before. He said he didn't even have a wife. So,
Right.
like, why would she believe it? And then he tells her that they were going to go out to eat, but it got crazy. And that's when he told her he wanted a divorce. For a split second, I thought that Megan was going to get upset about the fact that Michael said that he asked Sarah to go out to eat, but that never happened.
Megan seems so over it at this point. I mean, she's still in love with him, but just blindly believing what he says. I think she's got a lot of hesitation now. I mean, she's skeptical about him getting the divorce, like you said. And I love the way I think it was creative editing, but at the end of the scene, he tells her that he loves her and she hangs up on him.
Yeah, I liked that. And he threw in the fact that things have changed because Megan kissed his friends, and it added on to other problems they were already having. Okay, Michael, what are the problems that it's added on to? The fact that you have a child, then you had another child, and you were married the entire time. Are those the problems that you're talking about? And how can you cheat on someone when you're not actually with them and you're married? So Megan, Megan cheated on her married boyfriend who had two children whose wife did not know about Megan. Got it.
And I don't understand why you wouldn't just walk away. Like, what part is keeping her there?
Yeah.
Next up, Andrea and Lamar, and she lets him into the bathroom finally, and he demands that she gives him back his bank card and ID.
Yeah, she's acting like a child, but we've seen this from Andrea and we're not shocked. And then she's basically like, "We can we just come to an agreement that you stay here for 6 months?" And he's like, "No."
Right. What I wouldn't either. I mean, what she's doing is awful. That is an awful thing to do to somebody.
Well, he turns around and he plays her own game and he takes her phone.
Right. And she flips out as though what she did wasn't 10 times worse.
And she's like, "I need my phone. The kids are gonna call, blah blah blah." Yeah, what you need your phone to like gossip with your friends and yeah, come on. I mean, like she's just like, my phone.
She tells him to get it in his head that this is going to happen. He is a
Ugh,
grown man. You can't force him to do anything.
no, I mean, this whole scene, they're a mess. I thought something worse was gonna happen, like he was gonna beat down the door. I didn't know what was gonna happen, but like this whole thing is just basically them arguing and fighting like children, and then but started by her, and he's just like, "You'll get your phone when I get my stuff."
Right. He tells her that she's going to end up by herself if she doesn't get it together. And she tells us that it's his family that gets him in trouble. So she needed to take drastic measures to remove him from his own family.
She's just being so unfair altogether. It's just about her the whole time. She does not care about his feelings or his life or his family. In her mind, it would be great if he would just leave every part of his life behind and just make a brand new life with her and the kids in Utah. Like as if his old life didn't even exist. And that is the only thing I think would make Andrea happy.
Well, if she had gone about this in a mature way and had a discussion with him, he might have moved. But when you approach somebody and steal from them and tell them you can't leave, you may not leave, you're going to get pulled over and go back to prison if you leave. That's not a joke. That's not a game. That is not okay.
I don't honestly feel like this type of drama is in uh Lamar's nature. I feel like
No.
this is just his reaction to Andrea and how she's being because I just don't think that this is his way. Like, he's not this guy. And she honestly thinks that this is going to work. And it's crazy to me because this means she doesn't know Lamar at all, because this is not that
Right,
type of guy.
right. So he removes himself from the situation and walks out to his car, which I think was a great idea. Next up, Clint and Tracie, and they show up at the chapel and choose their stuff for the wedding.
Yeah, so basically she's like, her wedding, the original wedding, which we found out they weren't even actually legally married, was not the wedding that she dreamed of. It was in a bar with drunk people.
Right. He says she's still his goddess and he wants to be with her for the rest of his life. And then they get married.
Yeah, she feels like a real bride. They're gonna get married, and then we go to the vows, and Clint says his first, and the officiant is basically like, well, usually the women go first. Well, then why did you ask who wanted to go
Right.
first?
Like he's supposed to know that. So they leave the chapel and she's still in her wedding dress and he's in a tux, which makes me think, did they buy these? Like they bought it for just that?
Right. I was like, why are they wearing the props? Because aren't those props
I
that you
thought
just like
so.
rent? Well, I mean, again, this is a TV show, so they could have just like done this, and like they're prancing around Las Vegas, they're happy. And but I was like, the same thing. I'm like, why are they wearing the property from the chapel away? It's like they bought this stuff because that would be expensive.
Well, they didn't show up wearing that stuff. They didn't show up in
No.
a tux and a wedding gown. So I assume they got it at the chapel and then left. I don't they probably walked down the street and spent 15 minutes and came right back just for footage would be
Yeah.
my guess.
Yep, that's what I think. But the I knowing what we know about Tracie, yes, in our podcast group, we know Tracie is deceased. R.I.P. Tracie. But they say we're gonna be together forever. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Right. Next up, Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Michael goes to his mom's house to show her and Day Day that he's off parole, which is exciting. I don't know how he pulled that off, but
Well, remember, it was winter, and now it looks like summer or
mhm.
spring because it was snow, and then all of a sudden now it's not. So we don't know how much time has passed, but a bit. He's off tether, no more ankle bracelet to sleep with, shower with, sit in the backseat of a car with Megan, having lunch with, etc.
He says he's not going to take his freedom for granted. But one thing we know about Michael is he takes everything for granted.
Yeah, definitely. I don't believe that for a second. So he says he's going to continue things with Megan and make amends. Why?
I I don't know. It's an excellent question. His mom asks him what he's going to do now, and he says he's going to Texas to fix things with Megan. That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, well, and then Day Day's just like, why are you going to go to be with a girl who cheated on you with a friend? And
Right.
I get it. I was kind of a little bit aggravated with her saying this, but like, all right, I mean, I'll give her this one because he never should have been with Megan in the first place.
And they both Day Day and his mom want him to be with Sarah. They want him to be with his wife, who he made a commitment to. Unfortunately, they want him to be a man that he is not. That is not who he is. And I think that would be really unfortunate to find out about your child.
Yeah, well, and then well, mom says that Megan ruined things between Michael and Sarah, and I disagree. There were a lot more things that ruined the relationship with Michael and Sarah. A lot more
Michael.
people. I'm sorry. There are a lot more things that ruined the relationship between Michael and Sarah. Not just Megan, but there were other people, other circumstances. There's a lot. But in Michael's world, Sarah ruined everything. How, I don't know.
But ultimately, Michael is the one who ruined the relationship. Michael alone ruined the relationship. He alienated Sarah. He got involved with Megan. He continued to be involved with Megan. And as we'll find out, he's done even more than that. Next up, we briefly check in with Clint and Tracie, and people are cheering for them as they walk down the street and they're congratulating them on their wedding. And that's the whole scene.
Well, someone calls them Scott and Lizzie. Did you catch that? And they're like, Scott and Lizzie, they're like wrong couple.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Tracie throws her bouquet at a random lady.
Okay. Speaking of Scott and Lizzie, they are next up, and Lizzie arrives at her mom's house because Jasmine is graduating and they're having a little get together.
So I didn't realize that Jasmine was graduating from high school. I thought she was older, which I was a little bit shocked by this. I swore she was older, and now she's
She's
graduating
18.
high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we find out that Lizzie's mom took care of Jasmine while Lizzie was in prison. And earlier in the series, we found out that she had been caring for her while she was also on drugs previous to going into prison. So her mom has basically raised Jasmine since she was little.
And her mom says that she's proud of her daughter for getting off the drugs. And we do know she definitely is off the drugs. So for that, good. For if we can say one thing good about Lizzie, it's that she's off drugs. So that's a positive.
Lizzie decorated the cake. She put icing on it to write Jasmine's name, and then apparently put so many sprinkles on top of the writing that Jasmine couldn't find her name on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Her Lizzie's mom's like, she put too many sprinkles on it.
Lizzie is a gal of excess.
Yep. So Jasmine says it feels amazing to have her mom and to be able to celebrate with her mom because she missed so many things.
And this is when Lizzie sits Jasmine down to tell her about Scott going to California to visit him. And obviously, Jasmine's upset about that because she doesn't want her to have any contact with him at all.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe that she didn't contact anyone while she was in California to tell them where she was, but whatever. Movie magic. She tells Jasmine that Scott's using drugs, and of course Jasmine's upset about all of this because she doesn't like Scott. She doesn't want them together. Same old, same old.
But Lizzie says it's a fresh start and she has new priorities. I don't trust Lizzie, but I hope that things go well for her.
Yeah.
Next up, Andrea and Lamar, and Andrea is crying and talking about Lamar's family members that had been shot and killed. And I can see how that would be scary.
Yeah. Lamar cracks me up sometimes. He's just like, Andrea's tripping and looking desperate.
Yeah. He's not going back to jail because she's tripping. And as soon as he gets his stuff, he's leaving. I don't blame him. I wouldn't stay.
Yeah.
And I would not trust somebody who did something like that to me.
Again, Andrea's like, we need an agreement. Okay, well, Andrea, what's the agreement? Here's the agreement. Lamar does everything you say and everything you want. And
Right.
then that's the good that's the plan. It's the agreement.
You have to do what I say. That's
Yeah.
why would you want somebody around who you forced to be there?
Yeah, that's a recipe for disaster and a lot of unhappiness.
He tells her that she's making herself look stupid and desperate, and I completely agree.
He says, he's like, Andrea's crazy, and crazy people don't ever think they're crazy. I mean,
Right.
okay, I guess. Lamar's spitting truth.
He tells her again that he's leaving, and she tells him he can go to LA and come back in 3 weeks. That's not what he said.
No, what this random 3 weeks thing? You can go away and you have to come back in 2 weeks and 2 hours. Like, where did she 3 weeks? She's again, she's always like so demeaning to him, and she's
Hmm.
like, "You're fighting to still stay in the ghetto," which again, the portion of LA that we see him in, the houses we see and stuff, it doesn't look like the ghetto. I don't know what Andrea believes or perceives a ghetto to be, but that's not the ghetto. Just because it's LA doesn't mean it's the ghetto.
It's not where she wants to live. And I think that's really her only qualification for making it the ghetto. It's not where I want to be. Utah is so safe and everybody loves me and I have all these friends and everything's perfect in Utah, but you're making me go to LA where you're going to be killed and I'm going to be what?
At this point, I'm kind of like Andrea. Like, tell me if I'm wrong here. I'm going to be really careful with this, but it's almost like as if Andrea, even though Andrea is a black woman, is associating being in an area with uh higher percentage of black people to just be the ghetto. Like, right? I mean, at this point, I'm just like, 99.9% of the people that she's around in the community that she lives in Utah are white Mormons. And she just thinks that, like, because I'm going to guess that most of Lamar's family and friends and stuff are black, and he lives in a heavily black community, and all of a sudden that translates to ghetto. And I'm like, Andrea, like, what? Like,
I don't know if that's
do
the
you think that?
qualification I don't know. I don't know if that's the qualification she's using, but I would say that there's probably not probably, there are substantially more black people in LA than are in Utah. And we know that just based on Lamar's reaction to getting to Utah. Like he was
Mhm.
so uncomfortable. And I don't know if that's what it is. And I think it's just, I think her qualification is it's just not what she wants.
Yeah, I don't know.
So she gives him his stuff back and he gives her his phone. He gives her her phone
Yeah,
finally.
and he says, I'm sorry, Andrea says, which is, I don't, I don't know. She's like, he's gonna go back home to no one to cook for him or to take care of him, and he'll be back once he realizes it. So you mean to tell me that a grown man with friends and family cannot figure out a way to take care of himself? To what?
She is basing all of this on I take care of him. He can't live without me. He has to be. It's just her idea is the only way. There's no negotiation, there's no movement. It's just this way. This is what I want. You have to do it. You should have married somebody else if that's what you want. A submissive
Yep,
man. And Lamar's not,
yep,
I mean,
that's what
I'm not going to say he's not submissive, but he gives in to her a lot.
he does. And then Andrea says that Lamar's addicted to her. I don't see that here. I just don't see that. I don't know where that statement came from at all.
Her, she just has this idea that everything, like I said, it's he's not addicted to her. He wouldn't leave if he was addicted to her. She's
You
addicted
got
to
it.
him.
Hmm.
She tells him he
You
can
got
leave
it.
some stuff there, and he says he's leaving and not leaving anything behind. Yeah, get out. Like I couldn't even stand to be around somebody who did something like that to me. I don't know that I would ever talk to them again.
Yeah, and she's basically shocked. She's just like, "Wow, he's really leaving." Yeah, Andrea, he's really leaving.
Yeah.
Your theories are wrong.
She says she knows he'll come back and tells him she'll see him in a few weeks. I everything like she's just making it worse. Everything she says makes it worse. Shut up. Shut up. You're going to lose your husband if you don't stop.
Yeah, he says he's not going to jeopardize his freedom for a woman. And we've heard him say things like this before. And I don't know, she's inventing stuff because this is not her version of Lamar does not exist.
Right.
She's made it all up. And then Andrea says that, she and the kids should come first. Well, okay, all right, maybe. But you also can't force this man to give up everything he knows and put himself in total isolation for you. That is not fair.
Right. She chose to move to LA to be with him because that's what she wanted to do. He doesn't want to move to Utah. It's completely different. Yes, you relocated your family, but you made that choice. And now you have to give him the opportunity to make his choice. And he's choosing not to move to Utah. And I get that he told her he would, but you cannot kidnap somebody and make them do what you want.
Yeah,
But
and I wonder what would have happened if Andrea would have just been like, "No, I'm not moving to California. Sorry."
they wouldn't have
We
gotten
don't know.
married.
Yeah.
She knows they wouldn't have gotten married, which is why she did it. She's the one who's
Mhm.
addicted to him. She's obsessed with him. But he says he's going to stick with her, but they have a lot of things to work out, and he's really losing his patience. That is so chill because that would not be my response. I would be yelling, screaming, like it would be on at that point. He said the Mormons really messed up her brain. He's not kidding, man.
I agree. I agree.
At least her Mormons.
Mhm.
Brittany and Marcelino are next, and Brittany and Gio are going to make a sign for Sasha.
Yep. She says she misses Sasha a lot, and Marcelino actually does say some sweet things for once about Sasha and, the fact that Brittany misses her. And I think he's coming around to the fact that Brittany really is close to Sasha and just like needs to be a little bit more supportive. And then they're they're making that sign because they need to go see her, but they can't go in to see her because of the kids or whatnot. So they're going to stand outside with
No,
that sign,
they can't go
right?
in because Brittany cannot go in and see Sasha. She's not allowed. She's a felon.
Yep, you're right. You're right. Okay. They can't go in because felons can't go visit felons. I missed that part, but we
Yeah.
know this. We've said this before. Yeah. So that it would break a rule, so they're going to stand outside.
So they talk to Sasha on the phone and they tell her to look out her window at 8 o'clock, and they find out where she's positioned in the jail or prison.
I thought it was cute that Marcelino tells Gio that Sasha's grounded and that's why she can't come out.
Yeah. So the sign asks Sasha if she will be Zoilo's godmother. So apparently Marcelino relented and allowed this to happen.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, well, he must have come around.
He even yells at the prison, "We love you." So, I mean, he's relaxed quite a bit.
Yeah. And then Brittany says, and she's really always so wise, and she says that when you're in jail, you don't miss your house or your job, and you definitely don't miss work, but you miss the people you love.
I would imagine that to be true, yeah. And we ran this episode up with Megan, Michael, and Sarah. And Michael arrives in Texas and says he doesn't know what to expect, especially since she doesn't know you're coming.
Yeah. So he's saying he's hoping that they can have a cordial conversation. I mean, Michael and the camera crew are just 100% sure that Megan's going to be available and to answer the door.
She has to know
Find it
ahead of
hard to believe.
time.
Yeah.
They would have to confirm that she would be there. Even if they didn't tell her that Michael was coming, I would think production would make sure to know where she is.
Yeah. That could be it. Maybe they didn't tell her why they were showing up and who was going to be with them. So Michael says they've done hurtful things to each other. Okay, her one small thing to your like several very large things, and you're going to call that out because you can't take full responsibility for your actions at all. You have to blame Megan for some part of something because it can't always be just the stuff you did. It needs to be something else because you can't take full responsibility. Got it.
Always. He gets a call and he tells the woman on the phone that he's working. And all we know off the bat is this isn't Megan. It's not Megan and it's not Sarah.
Yeah, and he acts like a little bit surprised, and he's just like, and the camera guy or whoever is like, was that Megan? And he's like, oh no. And I was like,
Why would you answer the phone on camera?
yeah.
If you knew who it was?
Yeah, well, I heard kids in the background, right? And I thought it was mom, because I thought maybe mom like was watching the kids or something, but that's not what it was.
No. So he walks up to the door of Megan's house and he knocks and he says this is the hardest thing he's ever done. He spent years in prison, and flying out to Texas and going to Megan's house is the hardest thing you've ever done.
Yeah.
You were away from your daughter for years.
Yep. Oh, that yeah. Right? Um, and then he says he's got something important to tell Megan, and of course we don't hear what the important thing is, but my guess was that he was gonna tell her about whoever the woman was that answered the phone in the car, right?
No way. Really? You thought that?
I thought that.
He's not going to tell anybody.
No.
But she is pleasantly surprised that he's there. Who is your VIP for this week?
But I'm guessing I'm gonna go with the lawyer for fighting for Brittany and helping her get custody of her 60% custody of her son.
This week I chose Lizzie's mom for taking care of Jasmine all the time that Lizzie couldn't.
That's a good one.
And your POS?
Well, it was a toss up between Michael and Lizzie, but I'm definitely gonna go with Lizzie. Just because it's just terrible what she's done to this guy. And although he allowed a lot of it, why did you go back again just to torture him a little bit more?
I went with Michael for, I think, obvious reasons.
We could have gone with Andrea, but I don't know.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of her. She was pretty heinous, too.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, one of the three. He just was like, who's the bigger culprit here when it comes to doing crappy stuff? And it's always a toss up. But yeah, Andrea could have won too.
I think I want to change mine to Andrea
Yeah.
now that you say that. Wow. First
We
time.
probably we need three this time around. We're gonna go with three POSs: Michael, Andrea, and Lizzie. They all win.
So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup, Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts, and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, 1 rose from a gas station. She said, aw babe, now that's validation. We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. Matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said, don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.